Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kargoz, and today I have a very simple question for you. We all want Classic WoW, right? We've wanted Classic WoW for a long time. We've been very vocal about this. But if Classic WoW were to release in, say, 5-6 hours, right? Blizzard's like, surprise, we're launching the service tomorrow. Would you personally, right now, whoever's watching this, would you be ready to go? Would you be prepared? Have you done all the legwork needed to hop in the game and play at a super high level and achieve the goals that you've set for yourself? I would venture to say that probably the vast majority of you have not put in that legwork, myself included, so I'm gonna have to take this advice to heart as well. So today I thought it would be interesting, we could do a video on 6 ways that right now you can take proactive steps to help better set you up for success in Classic WoW. So let us, without further ado, let's hop right into it. Step 1, and this is a big step, probably the biggest step, and that's why it's number 1, is square your life away. Square your life away. What does that mean? Mentally, physically, financially. We're not like, most of us are a little bit older now, guys, you know. I don't know, I mean, there's probably some teenagers and stuff gonna play, but most of us, you know, we're not 13, 14, 15, 16, whatever. We can't just skip school like back in the day and just play all day or whatever, you know. A lot of us have, you know, we're slaves to the mortgage. You got, you know, fiance, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, significant other. You know, some of us got kids, so, and dogs, whatever. So we can't just play like we used to play. So we're gonna have to really put some time in to make arrangements to make sure we're gonna be able to tend to our adult responsibilities, but still be able to achieve the goals that we want to achieve in the game. So mentally, get your headspace right. Physically, you may want to prepare yourself. You know, start training, start going to the gym, get your body good to go, so you're not gonna have any, you know, medical emergencies or whatever come up, and you'll be able to, you know, concentrate, have that mental focus. Financially, I don't know, you know, everyone's got a different financial picture, but you want to make arrangements so that you're going to be sustainable while you're playing WoW or whatever. Make sure you're going to be able to tend to your bills, have that shit on auto pay, whatever. Envision your lifestyle. So imagine waking up, how you're going to tend to personal hygiene, how you're going to conduct, you know, all that stuff. When you're going to shower, you might want to get like a Brazilian wax, man. Get all that hair off your body, that nasty hair, so you're not stinking up your room. You know, whatever you got to do, right? If you're working, you may want to start saving up that PTO right now, so that when WoW hits, you can call up, you know, Bob and say, "Hey, Bob, I'm not going to be in for the next 10 days. You know, something came up." Whatever you got to do, but start thinking about that. Also, you may want to announce to your significant other, hey, look, this thing's coming up, and this is going to be a moment for me. This is a big deal. I want to give you advance notice so you don't freak out on me, you know, when I'm like tapped out for like 2 weeks. So you may want to think about that. Also, groceries. You may want to call ahead at Chipotle and say, hey, guys, I need like 50 burrito bowls. You know, order them in advance, freeze them up. You know, or whatever you're into. You could put some protein bars or some shakes right next to you, or you could just order a pallet of Hot Pockets or some lean cuisines, whatever you like. Get your food right, stock up on food, water, all this stuff, coffee, energy drinks. Make arrangements, you know, get your room good to go. Make sure your room is clean and organized. Man, it's such a downer. I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate. It's such a downer when you walk in your room and it's messy and it's gross, man. You just feel bad. You're not going to be at your best. So there's so much to unpack here. You know your own situation. Take steps right now so that you are a high performance Lamborghini in-game, well-oiled machine. Hit the ground running as soon as we get in the game. So that's step 1. Step 2, we're going to move on, is choose your main character. This is something I could talk hours and hours and hours about. We've been talking for hours and hours and hours about this for the past weeks. Man, this is a big deal. So everything from the little stuff like aesthetics, like what race, what faction, what you want your face to look like, your facial features, all this low key. That's kind of a thing for me. Back in the day, I used to delete characters because I didn't like the way their portrait looked. So think about that stuff. Think about how this class is going to do from a leveling perspective in PvE and PvP, what the playstyle is going to be. You may be rolling rogue thinking you're going to be a PvP monster on the front lines, kicking ass, taking names, only to realize that the playstyle in a pre-made battleground is going to be sitting in the flag room all day or spinning the flag in Arathi Basin. That may not appeal to you. So do your research and figure out how this class is going to perform in both PvE, PvP, the playstyle, the rotation. Is it engaging? Is it a one-button rotation? Is it a more sophisticated rotation? That's something I didn't account for when I first decided to play Hunter, the rotation and having to micromanage the pet and all that. So think about that, the playstyle. Think about what your gear is going to look like. Does it look cool? You know, what are the set bonuses? There's so much you can unpack here, man. Also, just look at your power curve through the course of vanilla for whatever class you're going to play. You hear this nugget thrown out a lot. Physical damage tends to perform better early in vanilla. Spell damage tends to excel later in vanilla. Keep all this stuff in mind. Think about class identity. You know, think about class identity. Do you think the class is cool? You know, does it look cool? Because if you're playing a class that you don't like the class identity and it looks like ass to you, you're probably going to just be that much less motivated to play and hop in the game and be successful and take pride in your character, blah, 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 blah. Professions, all this good stuff. All right, step 3 is kind of still labeled as step 2. It should be step 3. But this is kind of tying on to that. So not only should you pick your class, but you should learn how to play your class to whatever degree you can right now if you can't play the game for whatever reason. So, you know, look at the nuances, what the different specs are there any wonky specs in between, any hybrid specs, what are the different specs for leveling, PvE, PvP, look at the sort of meta, go into your class Discord, start meeting some of the, you know, the higher ups who have experience in this class, pinging them, hitting them up, connecting with them, networking, getting in their good graces so they can, you know, share with you their words of wisdom. No, there's so much you can do. Just consume all the content on YouTube, Twitch, whatever, related to your class so that you feel confident. You know, you feel confident in your class. So if someone asks you a question, you're not going to look like an idiot. You know, what's your hit cap, or you know, what stats are you going for? Whatever it is, you want to do everything you can to understand your class. And like for me, I played Hunter so many times, right? I've said this to you guys, but I'm going Warlock come Classic, and I am not an expert Warlock by any means. I leveled one recently on a server that is not to be named right now, but I need to do more homework on the Warlock class, because I've been hearing from lots of people that they're a very sophisticated class to play, especially in PvP. So I really need to do my homework and dig deep. It's something I can definitely work on. You guys should work on too. Alright, so the next thing is going to be building your community. So who are you going to play with? What server are you going to play on? PvE, PvP, RP? You know, what guild? You know, are you going to call up any of your old buddies from back in the day and say, hey man, Classic's coming out, you want to play together? Start building out that community right now. It's not too early. In fact, it's probably the sweet spot in order to start doing that, because the people you meet right now, these are going to be the people that you hit up before the eye of the storm hit, right? This is, you know, in the calm of the storm, and it's going to kind of bring you guys together. You guys will have been thinking about Classic way before the hype train built back up again. So start thinking about this stuff, man. Do you want a leadership role in a guild? Do you want to start a guild? Do you want to join a guild? Yeah, just stuff. You know, we're playing this game. One of the biggest pieces of this game is community, right? So, you know, think about what kind of reputation you want on your server, all that stuff. Also, one more thing before we move on from the classes. You want to research your pre-raid BIS and also your item progression through both PvE or PvP or whatever your goals are in the game, right? So, you know, think about getting your Devil Source set if you're playing Warrior or Hunter or whatever. Thinking about what key items you're trying to get out of the different raids. You want to plan out that progression. So that's the last thing I'll say on that. So the next thing is plan out your leveling. This is another thing I could talk for just hours and hours and hours about. You go on Horde or Alliance. You know, are you going to go solo, duo? You're going to go in a group? Are you going to be right there as soon as the server's open? This is a big deal, guys. Leveling can be a pain, and also the best conceived leveling plans still have like points of failure, and you're going to need to know the really good XP per hour grind spots throughout each zone. Also, if I'm going to ask you right now, what zone corresponds to what level range? Do you know off the top of your head right now, Eastern Kingdoms calendar, which zone pertains to which level range? You probably don't. I don't even think I know them all off the top of my head. So start thinking about this stuff, finding the good grind spots, because the people who are the best at leveling in Classic are the people that are adaptable, that they know how to pivot, and like each server presents different challenges, right? So you may go to a spot and it's super congested, or you're just getting ganked like crazy, or something happens. You're gonna need to pivot, to change on the fly, and not have that downtime, and just to execute and make a decision and have something in your back pocket. You want like a contingency plan, potentially multiple contingency plans, so that when you're leveling, you always have something you're going to do. You know what your next move is going to be. Also, when you're coming up with the leveling plan, reverse engineer it. Don't just start from one and and go to 60. I would recommend working backwards. Figure out where you're going to ding 60 and work backwards from there. And when you know where you're going to ding 60 and you've planned it all out already in your mind, this is going to make this challenge of leveling way more surmountable in your mind. You're going to feel like it's much more doable, as opposed to if you're just like lackadaisically making your way through the world, killing a couple of this, killing a couple of that, get a level here, get a level there. You're just going to feel like lost. You're just going to be lost in the sauce, and you're like, fuck, man, I feel bored, I feel unmotivated, whatever it is. So come up with that plan as a whole, top-down perspective, know when you're dinging, where you're dinging 60, all that stuff. Work backwards. So plan your leveling, big deal. All right, next thing is gold farming. So are you going to play a class that's proficient at farming gold? Hunter, mage, something like that? Even though I'm playing warlock, I might level a mage first, because there's so many advantageous reasons to level a mage first. For example, just gold farming. Mages are amazing at farming gold, but also dungeon mob tagging, because I'm going to be streaming a lot. I'm going to level all my alts through dungeon mob tagging, and there's not a better class in the game than mages for dungeon mob tagging. So if you're going to go a class that doesn't have access to doing Maraudin or Dire Maul, are you going to play the AH? Are you going to try and be part of the Devil Sword Mafia? You got to have like 4 or 5 gold farming methods in your back pocket that you can pull out at any time. So start thinking about this stuff. And the next thing, the final thing, set realistic goals, man. You guys heard of this SMART goals system? They tell you about it in college and stuff. It's you want to set goals that are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. So think about how much time you realistically have to play, what your experience level in the game is, all of this stuff, and make a plan and get ready to execute on this plan. So a lot of people, they want to go warrior. They think it's the way, it's the era of the warriors, and they really underestimate the leveling experience, and they never even make it to 60 on a warrior. So what was the point? You know what I mean? Pick a class that you really think that you can get to 60 and be successful with. Are you going to get every class to 60? I don't know. We can talk all day about these goals, but think about what your goals are in PvE and PvP if you have any. All this. So that's it today, guys. Just a short video. I hope this can be of some help. If you have any other questions or whatever, hit me up in the Discord. Man, keep fighting the good fight. Keep doing your thing. Don't sell out that childlike sense of wonder. And I appreciate your time today, guys. So I hope this helped. See you in the next one. Peace out.